Many people wonder how long a wine lasts once has been opened, or why sometimes changes over time. Once a bottle is uncorked, chemical reaction starts immediately, and how fast wine changes depends on several factors. Today we are going to look at this scientifically and practically. Ciao guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a fascinating question. What happens to a wine after you open it? I'll be tracking 2 bottles of wine over the next 7 days under the same conditions so you can see real-life changes in action. But before we open them, a little history. Wine preservation isn't new. Ancient Egyptians used clay stoppers to seal the jars of wine. The Romans then introduced cork, noticing that it slowed down changes over time. Even back then, people observed that wine evolves after being exposed to air. Here's what we are working with today. Bottle number 1, it's a Mosel Riesling, and bottle number 2, it's a Barbera d'Asti. Today marks day 1 of our experiment. Both will be opened under the same condition and stored identically, with no additives or special tricks. When wine is opened, oxidation is the main process that begins. Oxygen reacts with compounds in the wine, which can gradually alter its characteristics over time. Here are the main factors that determine how long wine will last once opened. Oxygen exposure is the most important factor. The more air inside the bottle or in contact with the surface of the wine, the faster the chemical reaction will occur. When oxygen dissolves into the wine, it reacts with compounds like phenolics, ethanol and aromatic molecules. These reactions form new compounds, some of which alter the wine's flavor profile and structure. In simple terms, oxygen doesn't just mix with the wine, it actively transforms it. Temperature. Cooler storages slow down oxidation, while warmer temperatures accelerate it. If you leave wine on a warm kitchen counter, oxidation progresses much faster than if you store it in the fridge. Cooling doesn't stop oxidation completely, but it significantly slows it down. That's why even red wines benefit from refrigeration after opening. It's not about serving temperature, it's just about slowing the chemistry. Wine composition. Not all wines react to oxygen in the same way. Their internal composition matters. Wines with the higher acidity are generally more stable because acidity acts as a natural preservative. Lower pH environment slow certain oxidative reactions. Structural compounds like tannins and phenolics can also play a protective role. These molecules react with oxygen first, effectively buffering or delaying noticeable changes. That's why some wines remain stable for several days after opening, while others change more rapidly. It depends on their chemical structure. The storage orientation might seem minor, but it makes a measurable difference. When a bottle is stored upright, the surface area of wine exposed to oxygen is smaller. When stored on its side after opening, more wine is in contact with the air trapped in the bottle. Therefore, a larger surface area means more oxygen dissolves into the wine. By controlling all these factors in our experiment, we can observe how 2 bottles behave under identical conditions. Now let's open both the bottles and pour a small amount for each wine. Remember, today we are just recording the starting point. This sets the baseline for a 7-day tracking experiment in the follow-up video. Both bottles are now open and ready. After tasting, we'll reseal and store them under the same conditions so we can monitor them over the coming days. So let's start with our wine number 1, our Mosel Riesling freshly opened. To the nose, the wine smells mostly of primary characters, mainly citrusy notes like lime and lemon, a touch of green apple, and some subtle vegetal, herbal and flinty notes. To the palate, the wine is completely dry with no residual sugar, a distinctive high level of acidity typical of this region and this variety, with a lean and light body. We move now to our Barbera d'Asti, so wine number 2. This is a classic nose of a Barbera d'Asti. A lot of red and black fruits like cherry, plum and raspberry, with some floral notes like violet and rose. To the palate, the wine is dry with a medium body and a medium concentration and intensity of red fruits and floral characters, with a typical crunchy, high level of acidity with medium tannins very well integrated. This is our starting point. These initial impressions will be the reference for the upcoming 7 days experiment, where I'll taste and track both wines each day to see how they change over time. After tasting, it's important to store the open wines properly to slow down changes. Reseal tightly the bottles with a proper cork or stopper. Store upright the bottles to minimize the surface area exposed to air. Keep it cool and dark. Fridge storage works well for most wines and avoid sunlight or heat. Following these simple practices helps preserve wine for several days so it can be enjoyed later without significant changes. So today we learned why wine changes after opening, what factors influence these changes, and we started our day one tasting of these two wines. In the next video we'll follow these same bottles over the next 7 days to see exactly how they evolve, tasting each day and applying principle we discussed today. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Comment below which factors do you think will affect most the wines over the next 7 days: temperature, oxygen or closures? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the follow-up video for the 7-day experiment.